Hey there, Sarah, NextGEN Medium. I'm a psychic medium, and I've developed a network of a website and a blog and a vlog and a podcast, all of these things to help you discover your psychic abilities. My understanding is that everybody is psychic, and it's really up to you to develop it. We are focusing now on psychic types, and this is going to be a whole series. Now, the point of this whole series is that you become aware of the possibilities of the things that you can do with your psychic ability. Now, I'm going to be presenting things to you that I haven't experienced myself, but I'm sure there's things that I've experienced that other people haven't experienced themselves. So I am open to the possibility, and this whole thing about your psychic development is about you discovering what you're interested in and what gets you excited, and something that could be a possibility for you, but maybe not for me yet. So without further ado, we are presenting Get to Know Your Psychic Types. And we're starting with mediumship on NextGEN Medium, the vlog. When it comes to psychic types, we're talking about just the different ways that you can use your psychic ability. This isn't to be confused with clairs, which are your psychic senses, the ways that you receive psychic messaging. Don't get that confused, because what we're talking about now are the different factions, different names of things that constitute psychic ability. The psychic type we're talking about this episode is mediumship. Now, I have had a lot of experience with mediumship. Now, what is mediumship? Mediumship is a way for us to talk to dead people, is sort of a common term of it. But I think as I've come to become aware of my mediumship abilities, I don't see them as dead people because they don't come to me like dead people. Think of it like you are a conduit. So you know how, this might be an old way of saying this, but telephone lines, you know those things where sound actually traveled through a wire at one point? We're so wireless now, this is such an ancient way of talking about it. But I think it's a good kind of visual that you can put in your mind of one person talking on one end, there's something carrying the message to be received by someone on the other end. And so as a medium, you are that conduit. You're the one receiving the message, and then you're relaying the message. So that's what mediumship is you're talking to one entity and you're passing your information along to whoever this entity is connected with and wants to speak to. I'm just a vessel to connect spirit world with our physical world, with human bodies in it. And what makes mediumship different than psychic is mediumship, I'm receiving message from somebody else, and with psychic message, it's coming from me. It's my message. My medium messaging actually comes from a focal point that's over here, and it's almost like a tear in the fabric of reality. I think that's how I put it in the blog. And it's almost like kind of like a window right here, and I see people standing there and waiting to talk, and I can see them in my mind's eye with great detail. Right now I'm seeing an older couple that aren't familiar looking to me, and I'm not sure why I'm receiving them, but they've been sitting with me for a little bit today, and I'm not going to go there. Like, I'm shutting it down. Even though there's part of me that wants to investigate what's going on, I gotta shut it down. Whereas my psychic ability, I actually gravitate to be over here. I don't know why there is a difference there. I don't know how that works, but for me, experimenting and doing sittings and readings, this is what I've come to learn. And actually, mediumship comes to me a lot easier than psychic ability does. Even though I use my psychic ability with my mediumship, I do think of them kind of separately. And actually, I find that my mediumship is where I naturally gravitate to first, and then I allow my psychic stuff to flow through. And it's almost like it's easier for me to connect as a medium than it is as a psychic. Now, something else you might hear is that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. I don't know if that's true or not for me. I mean, I can experience both. And how do I know that what I'm seeing and hearing and feeling is true? Is from experience. And from sticking my neck out and asking people, hey, do you want a reading? Come in and let me scare the bejesus out of me, because this is really terrible if I can't do this. But somehow it managed to pan out that it worked for me. What are the dominant psychic skills? I think any skill, I think any clair would be absolutely valuable for mediumship. Let's see. So I see it, I feel it, I feel it emotionally, I can feel pain as well. I can also psychically know things about these people, sort of their background, things that were important to them. But I will say that multiple clairs, multiple skills is definitely better than just using one skill. Tips for developing your mediumship. Meditation. You gotta build that baseline. I'm all about that base. Learning what it feels like to be in your body, because once you're able to know that, then anything you receive, it compares to your baseline, and then you know it's not yours. And I have 2 meditations that you can check out on my vlog. They're gonna come up at the end of this video, but I'm also gonna put them in the description below so you can check those out, and I'll talk you through it. Just close your eyes, put your earbuds in, and just let it go, just let it slide. Next up, you gotta know your clairs. You gotta know the tools that you're working with, and I have a video on that. I got a link in the description below. As I mentioned earlier in this video, that I use clairvoyance is a big one for me, in that I see imagery in my mind's eye, and I also have claircognizance, in that I just know things sometimes. I also have the ability to sense feeling, but also pain. So physical pain as well as like emotional. Those are the tools I use, but it's important to know, to be able to identify what those are for you, so you know what your strengths are and what you need to be focusing on internally to be able to do the messaging. And last up, exercise tips for mediumship. I'm gonna go right back to my tips for your psychic exercise, because these tips are really universal when it comes to getting to know this psychic type, and basically all psychic types. So I'm gonna say this in every single video. Number 1 is to keep an open mind. Don't block off what you think won't happen or what you don't believe, or else it's not gonna happen. You gotta be open to possibility. You also have to be open to just letting things flow. Next up is meditate. I already said that, but I'm saying it again. Meditate. You gotta meditate. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know what it feels like to be in your body, in your skin, in your brain. That's the only way you can compare things. Observe. That's my next tip, and the only way that you can let things in and let them out is just by watching it come and go. You don't block it off, you don't give yourself judgment, and you don't let your ego get in. If you let your ego get in, then you better watch my video about that, again, in the description below. That's something that, with time, with learning your craft, psychic mediumship, you got to learn when ego gets in the way, and with your development you might notice it, and best thing that you could do is just cut it off, so you rid yourself of some extra steps that you put in that just waste time and waste your energy, And yeah, that video is in the description below. Last up, most important, is to document. Every time you do a reading, you gotta write down what happens, what you got right, what you got wrong, what you saw, how you saw it, what you heard, everything. All this stuff is stuff that you are going to want to look back on to be able to reference. In my blog, I have an exercise to get you to this place right here. This is where I do my mediumship. So check out my blog at nextgenmedium.com/blog, and it will be in the description below. I would encourage you to check this out because you might be kind of dumbfounded at how easy this exercise is, but also how simple and how useful. And I want to pass that along to you. So go to my blog to check that out at nextgenmedium.com. Also, at my blog, I have social media resources for you, groups to join on Facebook, communities to join on Reddit. I also have videos with great mediumship development tips. Now, these are people I don't know, but I look through these videos, and having experienced the things I've experienced, there was a lot of stuff in there that I was like, this is good. This will be good for people who want to develop it. These are great tips to pass along. I think this is good stuff that I look at and I'm like, I learned something from that I can connect with the experiences I've had. So that's it for our psychic type of mediumship. Now you know, I've had plenty of experiences with mediumship, and I can't wait to share more and to do more readings. I'm going to be developing a series about mediumship. That's going to be later down the line, but I think there's a lot of tips and information in there that I can pass along from my own experiences that I can give to you that can help you develop your mediumship. And you'll have to wait for that though. But that does it for this series episode of Get to Know Your Psychic Types Mediumship. You can check out more about your psychic development on my website, nextgenmedium.com. I also have a podcast. You can check that out on the website as well. And everything is weekly. I do everything on a weekly basis. Don't forget to like me on Facebook, on Pinterest, on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll chat with you soon. Don't forget to subscribe.